TikTok shops, clothing hauls, those last minute Shein vacation fits, these are all the things that keep us addicted to shopping. But consider this your intervention. And mine. You have a shopping addiction that is keeping you broke. And in this video, I'm going to break down how to break free of all of that. And don't fight me on it, because you're the one that says that you are ready to get your finances together. So do you really want to do this?
Do you want to do this? Do you?
5, 10, 20, 50, 100.
Hey, my name is Elena, and I am here to help you grow up in your faith, your finances, and your life. And I too struggle with a shopping addiction. In fact, if we're having an honest moment, I just spent over $1,000 in clothes, shoes, and just random stuff on a trip that I was preparing to go to Jamaica for.
What?
1,000 American dollars. Because of course, I needed the new swimsuit. I needed the beach bag. I needed the little flower earrings on the beach. I needed the shades. I needed all these things, or so I lied and told myself. And overspending like this was first embarrassing, but it really caused me to step back and break down the traps and the mindsets that I had when overspending in this way. And I think that as I've had these revelations, there's some that I want to share with you. So let's break down how we get into the traps of overspending with shopping and doing the most, okay? Doing the most. I have struggled with overconsumption and shopping for a very long time, since I was probably a teenager. And when I really broke this down recently, it has fallen under 3 categories. So let's go through those 3 real quick. So number 1 is insecurity. I don't know if you can relate, but I have really struggled with desperately wanting to dress and be someone that I just wasn't. This is an idea that's often called the fantasy self. The fantasy self is an inflated version of who you want to be, not who you currently are. When I saw the women who were married, who were successful, who were confident, and I didn't look like that, I felt inferior, and I felt like I had to dress and present myself in a certain way to get to that status. So let's talk about how to deal with this fantasy self, okay? Our closet should be an accurate representation of who we are, not who we think we need to be. I want you to sit and really think about the lifestyle that you currently have. For me, I work from home. I go to Pure Barre. I like to go to church. I like to go to lunch or brunch with my friends. So why was I trying to buy all these bodycon dresses? It wasn't matching with the lifestyle. Over the years, like I said before, my fantasy self has taken over my closet. I wanted to be the baddie. I wanted to be the monochrome girl. But in the midst of just buying random clothes, trying to fill my closet to be that person, I didn't understand color. I didn't understand fabric. And I still was looking a mess. I'm gonna be honest. This fantasy self is expensive, so I want you to let go of all those personas, all the things that the world has told you that you have to do and be to be recognized in this world, and I want you to step into who you really are. This has been huge for my wallet, so if you're dealing with this, if you're dealing with this insecurity, I really advise you to just sit and think about this fantasy self idea. Number 2, the next thing that really holds us back is escapism. I had a huge struggle with using shopping to just clear my mind, not think about it, not deal with the problems that were going on in my life, like retail therapy, right? And it absolutely hurt my wallet. Now, in the beginning of this video, I mentioned that I believe kind of like my overconsumption shopping addiction habits started when I was a teenager. And when I was 17, my father tragically passed away, and I just remember running to the mall the whole summer just trying to avoid the feelings of grief and spending up my credit card. And that habit really carried on into my adult life. Like every time there was an issue or a problem, or I felt really bad about myself, or I was going through something, I was headed to the mall, and online shopping made it even easier. You often see this escapism from reality, like the extreme version with hoarders.
I could safely say that Teresa has about 3,000 purses and shoes to match almost each purse.
If you ever have seen a show of hoarders, it's usually always triggered by some type of event, some type of just catastrophic thing that they experience, and their way to escape all of that was to shop. So I relate to that so much because I really latched on to shopping to avoid the grief and sadness that I really felt inside. And it created a terrible habit in me. in me. It doesn't always have to be a negative thing, but usually the overconsumption is tied to something negative. But I want you to know that this is not self-care. This is self-avoidance. And so if you're finding that you are filling up your cart, you're shopping a lot, all these Amazon packages are coming to your door, I'm going to talk about some ways to combat some of these struggles that we have, but I want you to really think about, am I self-caring right now? Am I loving myself? Am I honoring myself? Or am I just self-avoiding? The last struggle that people often face when it comes to just shopping too much is because it's easy and it's fast. Let's face it, it's real convenient to shop right now. Like I mentioned earlier, I went to Jamaica recently and spent way too much money. And honestly, what was really dangerous is that I knew that I could order like 10 million things and just return them. Like, let me just buy 10 swimsuits on Amazon. I'm gonna return them, right? Even though some of those things you end up liking and then you don't return them, and then now you spend all this money, and then now you're like, oh my gosh, why did I spend this money? That didn't happen to me. But what I'm saying is that it has been easier than ever to get clothes and shoes and those ugly Labubus right to your door. And did you know that TikTok Shop, which is, if you go to TikTok, you'll see people trying to sell stuff, or you can go and buy things directly from the app. Did you know that it has officially surpassed QVC shopping as the largest platform for live shopping? Y'all remember QVC? My mama used to watch that and just order stuff. Like, why do we have this silly putty bingo game? Like, you know what I mean? It just order random crap. But yeah, TikTok Shop is expected to make over $70 billion in the next 2 years. That is insane. It has become easier than ever to order and get it right to your door. And that is keeping us in a cycle of struggle in shopping addiction. So in my opinion, we know the three struggles are trying to be your fantasy self, escapism, and ease and convenience. So Alina, how do we get over this? How do we move forward? How do we be better? Number one, I kind of mentioned this a little bit in the beginning, but I really want you to invest and learn your style. Take a break from the hauls, okay? Like, when you see one pop up on YouTube, I want you to just keep on scrolling, and I want you to learn you instead. The way that I did this was that I saved up and I invested in a color and styling class, and it was a little pricey, but I was so happy that I invested in that because I learned my colors. I learned the things that were good on my skin, that I felt confident in with my skin tone, and it has been a game changer in shopping because I'm not just randomly buying things. Like, for example, a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, black women, they're all look beautiful in yellow and orange. Well, I learned that orange was just not my color with my undertones. It wasn't my color, but I had so much orange in my closet because I was listening to the internet and I wanted to be cute. Y'all said that the black girls look fine in orange. I'm gonna be in orange. And I realized that I didn't even like orange. Why was I buying and wasting all this money and wearing orange? So it was just such an eye-opener for me about the things and the colors that look great on me. And I'm so glad that I invested in that. And you don't have to be maybe that extreme of going to a class or investing in a class, but there's so many videos on YouTube. There's so many people teaching different theories and how to dress your body and know what your style is. And that is just has been a game changer in the way that I have shopped. Number two, a way to get over these struggles is I want you to dress for your life, not the occasion. We live in a world where we're not dressing for ourselves. We are dressing for the gram, okay? And so we don't actually build a wardrobe. A lot of people call this a capsule wardrobe. We don't actually build this because we're only buying clothes for the occasion. We're only buying clothes for the one vacation or for that party that we were invited to. And this is expensive, y'all, because now you got a whole closet full of Cowboy Carter fringes, but not a good pair of quality jeans. I want you to write down what your current lifestyle is. Now, I know you have all these goals. I know you have these ambitions, but let's dress and love yourself right now. So if you go to work 3 days a week, what is your wardrobe going to look like? If you work from home, what is your wardrobe going to look like? If you go to church, if you like to work out, if you like to go to jazz clubs, like, what do you do? What do you enjoy? And maybe some of this will reveal that you actually need some new hobbies. So I want you to really think about your lifestyle, write down your lifestyle, and start to build a wardrobe around that, and even purge some things in your closet that don't fit your lifestyle anymore. Number 3, when it comes to these struggles, I want you to buy slower and buy better. So this is building off of the last piece of advice that I just gave you. When I was like researching fast fashion, I saw that Shein adds almost 10,000 new pieces to their website every single day. That is insane. 1, because people are making those clothes, and 2, we're buying them, then we're dumping them into landfills. Okay, like, let me not get climate change on y'all, but that's crazy. I want you to commit to buying slower and buying more quality pieces. Now, I've talked about this in a previous video, but I have a clothing wish list. And on this wish list, I have dresses and shoes and purses. But what I do is I add, if there's something that I really like, I'm trying. I didn't do this last month when I went to Jamaica, but we've learned from that, and we're back on our Zoom. We're locked in. What I do is I'm committing to only buying on that wish list. Only buying on that wish list. And it really pushes me to buy slower and not just like frantically buy something, because the truth is that we're always getting tricked. There's always going to be sales. There's always going to be this urgency to buy. We're getting tricked into buying this stuff, right? They're playing in our face. So I challenge you to create a shopping wish list and add things to that and only buy from that. And this will help us to buy slower. And I also want to challenge you to start looking at different websites. Like, stop looking just on Shein. Let's look at places like Dish. Let's look at places like, I think it's called Quint. Maybe it's Banana Republic Factory. These are stores that are a little bit pricier, but the quality is so amazing and it will last you from years and years to come, which is just a better investment of your money and your time, really. So yeah, I encourage you to buy slower and buy better. Lastly, when it comes to struggling to overshop, I want you to know your triggers. This whole video is all about knowing yourself, okay? In knowing your triggers, it's really important to assess what the financial risks are going to be. Is your trigger that you panic buy, that you think, oh my gosh, this is on sale, if I don't get it now, I'll never be able to have it? Is it that you are subscribed to all these different emails, and so you're always getting emails about deals and new clothes? Is it that you are constantly watching hauls? Like, I want you to think of your triggers. So here are a few that I thought of that can maybe help. If your trigger is that you buy things very quickly, I want you to practice sleep on it for 48 hours. Now, this is where the wish list will come in, because if you put it on your wish list and you wait and you sleep on it, you might find that you don't even really like it that much. You just was frantically buying something, or you were buying something out of your triggers of grief or your triggers of sadness or things like that. So I want you to at least sleep on it for 48 hours. The next thing is, I want you to unsubscribe from all the emails, all the text messages, especially the Fashion Nova ones, because they be out of line and inappropriate anyway. But I want you to unsubscribe from those emails or things that will trigger you to start looking and start shopping again. So yes, that means Zara. Yep. That means Fashion Nova. Yep. Unclick, unsubscribe. Maybe for you, it's time to unfollow a few fashion creators and scale back from watching hauls. Maybe you are triggered by watching YouTube hauls or getting on TikTok and seeing the girl who has bought the $1,000 clothing haul that she's going to try, and that most likely she was gifted from the company and it is sponsored. She got it for free. You about to go into debt. Let's not. Let's not do that. The last thing that I want you to do when knowing your triggers, especially when it comes to insecurity, is growing your confidence in who God has made you to be. You need to work on this more than working on having a bomb closet. Like, it is time to own who you are. It is time to own who God has called you to be. And it is time to love all the parts of you. And so I want you to start showing up in that way. But that takes time, that takes dedication, that takes work. And so this actually needs to be the first thing, is growing your relationship with the Lord, growing the relationship with yourself, so that you can show up outwardly in the way that you feel inwardly. And so sometimes we may feel like I have to dress a certain way or I have to buy the thing because we are not fulfilled in ourselves. And so a lot of times shopping addictions also show a deep hunger for God. And so this is honestly less about shopping, and it's more about a come to Jesus for yourself of who am I in this moment? Am I proud of who I am in this moment? And where are areas that I can grow in confidence? So we're going to do this together because I am the pot calling the kettle black, okay? I'm the pot. The pot is me. And I am on this journey of working on myself. I'm on this journey of showing up the way that God has called me to be. And I'm on this journey of committing to my finances. And I know that shopping is a big area that holds me back. And so if you're ready to be on this ride, if you're ready to be all that God has called you to be, then subscribe to this channel because we're going to talk more about that stuff. We're going to get real about all the things when it comes to money and finances, but also your walk with God and also your own confidence. So if you like that, then subscribe and I will see you in the next video. Bye.